You are
This is the kickoff event for Students for Ukraine 2025 by EKV. Already 3 years this terrible war is continuing, and we students in all of Europe stand in solidarity with the students of Ukraine. And tonight it's the 2025 kickoff event ahead of our General Assembly here in Vienna. I want to thank the President of EKV that he is personally here this afternoon to kick off this event. Very welcome our fraternal brother and President Becky, and also many representatives from Ukraine who join us online. But now for the opening, I would like to give dear Becky, dear President, the word. Please, and the word is yours.
Thank you everyone for being here. I also enjoy being here together with you to celebrate this event. Of course, it isn't really an event worth celebrating because it's caused a lot of tragedy to a lot of people. But we as EKV are very proud that we can help Ukraine in its battle with the action Students for Ukraine, and in the person, of course, of Tetyanka here, who as Ukrainian is part of our presidium and a very valuable part of our presidium, if you ask me. I also would like to thank Merkenstein for allowing this event to take place at their Bude, and therefore I would like to give one of them also the word to say something.
Thanks a lot, Mr. President. That's very kind of you. Also, on behalf of Merkenstein community, our President Ilse, we want to address and say some words in solidarity of Ukraine.
well. Thank you all for coming this evening to our halls and to our Bude. Merkenstein has many members who are very active in helping Ukraine and bringing forward the cause. So we're happy to give assistance further on. And yeah, welcome. Thank you.
It's very good, fun, fantastic. Merkenstein is of course a European student fraternity which is very close to Ukraine. We have already the first members from Ukraine, and 2 students who are studying here are members in Merkenstein, and I want to welcome very much especially Vlad, also doctor, who is our latest member. It's wonderful, and hopefully many Ukrainian students will join. And he comes from the recommendation of the priest of the Catholic Ukrainian Church of Vienna, Father Taras. I want to welcome you very much. Herzlichen Dank, Herr Pfarrer, dass Sie da sind. Das ist wirklich wunderbar. Danke für Ihre Solidarität und Unterstützung. Und wir stehen für die Ukraine 100%ig. Danke, dass Sie da sind. Now I would like to hand over, because the biggest success was the fundraising of our Swiss fraternal brothers. They have done a wonderful activity, and I would like to welcome very much you. Asaka, maybe you can present a little bit of the activity which was done in the last years from the Swiss. It was really wonderful.
There was a Swiss fraternity in Switzerland, and they raised around, I don't know, 1 million.
1.5 million.
1.5 million for emergency deliveries to Ukraine. It got then support from our Dachverband, from our umbrella organization, the Schwesterdach. Yeah, and we could raise 1.5 million.
This was very impressive performance, one of the best in all Europe, and I want to thank you very much for your solidarity. What the Swiss have done is really excellent. All over, the students of EKV have raised over 2 million euro, and this is wonderful. We will hear more about these activities throughout this evening. Now I would like to give the floor to Tetyana, Chief of Communication of EKV. You are also personally from Obnova. We stand with solidarity, and please run us through this program tonight.
Thank you, Gunther. Thank you, Becky, our president. It's really nice to be here today, and thank you for support. From when I'm here in Vienna, all the time I feel support of EKV, feel support of Catholic Brotherhood. It's really important for me. I was meeting them, how to say, just by case, just on the street in Vienna, and from this moment we are together, and I feel really good. And thank you for this evening. Today I just want to say about people who will speak today, because this evening is the first evening about the, as you know, this weekend we have KFV weekend, and this is welcoming weekend of KFV. So it's the first event of the big program. And I really appreciated that we started KFV from the Ukrainian evening. And this is very special and of course a very tragic moment, because in these days, in the February, we had the third anniversary, if we can say, of Russian war in Ukraine. So I had a proposition that we can have Ukrainian evening when we will say something about the war, when we can make some summary. And I asked my friends from Ukraine, the member of Obnova, to have a word. For example, I asked my husband, who is now in the war, and he are connected now from the east of Ukraine, from the Donbass. He's a member of Obnova Kyiv. Also, I invited the Pan Yuri Pedlisny. He is from Academic Obnova Society from Lviv. Also, Sofia Kernichna, she's from Krakow. She also will say, and also we have a member from Obnova Ternopil, Taras Krivetsky, and the last but not the least, our President of Ukrainian Obnova Federation, Solomia Kostenko. So dear friends, welcome here. And also we have international speakers from the Swedes, Harald Beer and Patrick Steiner. So for the beginning, I will ask to say a few words. Solomia Kostenko, our Ukrainian Federation President.
Good evening. Thank you for opening your meeting with Ukrainian evening. So thank you for the opportunity to be here, even if just online. We are glad to see you and get to know you. On behalf of the Obnova Federation, we express our sincere gratitude for your support. Your contribution is invaluable, and we deeply appreciate everything you do for Ukraine during this difficult time. Your support gives us the strength to continue the fight. The war has directly affected members of our organization. Some are defending our homeland, while others volunteer, donate, and help those who need it most. Ukraine is a strategically important country, especially for all of you, and is future determinants of the security of the entire region. Now as the situation of the front remains difficult, we must all make even greater efforts to support Ukraine. We know that EKV has raised 50,000 euros, and Action 1019 has collected 2 million euros, and this is truly powerful. We are incredibly grateful for your compassion, close cooperation, and faith in our victory. We also invite you to our conference at the end of March, and would be happy to see you there in person. Thank you so much for our support. Glory to Ukraine and Slava Ukraine.
Thank you so much, Sofia. And now I want to give a few words to Pan Yuri Pedlisny. Maybe Pan Yuri Pedlisny is a famous Ukrainian scientist, and he is the theology and philosophy, and I would like to hear from him some summary of these 3 years of war.
Hello, everybody. Thank you very much for the possibility to join you. I must make some corrections. I am political science department director at the Ukrainian Catholic University. Well, these 3 years of full
I will invite to say some word and talk about about this war that we have with this difficult war. My husband, Alexander Homeniuk, he is the third year on the front. He went like as a volunteer doctor to help Ukrainian injured soldiers. Before the war, he was working as a pediatric surgeon in the hospital in Kyiv, and he had a lot of experience like a traumatologist. But from the very first day, he left everything and just goes by himself to the army because he understood that he needs to help the people. And now there is the third year. During all these 3 years, he is on the war and help people. We have the 3 years of this horrible war, but it's also personally 3 years for our family, and from also personally 3rd anniversary for him. During all this time, he wrote the diary, what he see every day. And now he published the book about the Avdiivka. And I would like, Alexander, you will say not a few words, but little bit more, how everything started for you, what did you saw during these 3 years, and what is the dynamic of this war?
Hi everybody, servus, God, I'm Alexander. Now I am chief of evacuation of my war begins in my civilian hospital, where I was on duty on the day at night. Then after 10 days, I go to Ukrainian mobilization department in EKV and go to the war with our newborn brigade. 2 years we were defeated Avdiivka, then we go from Avdiivka to other parts of the Donetsk region, to the Zaporizhia region, and now we on the south of Donbass region, nearly 10 kilometers against Russian army. Now, somebody says that war never changes. Generally, war never changes. Ukraine is shield of Europe. Russians are barbarians without knowledge of any human rights or any laws of war. But in some aspects, war changes a lot. Because in 2022, we don't know about drones. Our ambulances go to Avdiivka, and we waited for our soldiers for 2 hours, 3 hours, and we don't worry about drones. Only our fear was artillery or missile. And now drones are everywhere, and evacuation of injured soldiers is very difficult and very dangerous, because there are many drones with optic fiber, and we can't fault with these drones with our radio electronic fighting system. That's why many our ambulances are injured by these drones, and there are many situations when evacuation from front line is impossible because of these drones. Many soldiers were on the front line of the position 45-60 days because evacuation is not possible. It's very hard for treatment, for treatment of the soldiers, because there are many freeze many wounds which are untreated, and they are frozen, they are dehydrated, and their condition is very hard after these days on the front line. Maybe you want to ask me to something. I don't know what to talk about this war, because I saw it every day. Maybe you have some questions from your European side.
That is the moment when, if you really want to have some question, you can ask, because this man is on the other side, on the very, very close to the soldiers. But I will ask you first. I always can ask you, I know, but I will ask for others. What now the Ukrainians need the first, which help, how European can help Ukrainian. On the first year, everybody was buying the tourniquet, the bandage, and what Ukrainian needs now?
During the Vietnam War, United States Marine Corps was fought with the Red Vietnam Army, and the Colonel of Marine Corps said we need only beans, ammo, and band-aids. Ukrainian doesn't need beans because we are the biggest European agrarian state. We don't need band-aids because Ukrainian band-aids are better than American. Ukrainian tourniquets are better than American. We have many scientific organizations which improved modern care under fire, medical systems. But we now need ammo. Ammo for European artillery, ammo for European jet fighters. We now need more systems of anti-missile defense, anti-aircraft defense, and more systems for to fight with drones for other vehicles, especially for medical vehicles. We need more armored ambulances, because it's very hard to go on the wide Mercedes which was built in 20th century for ambulance, some in Europe, and now this old ambulance go to the war. We need more specialized medical ambulances for army.
Thank you, Alexander. And if nobody has any question to Alexander, maybe you can see about the question. But now I will give the word to Taras Krivetsky. He is the head of Obnova Foundation. On the beginning of the war, Obnova created his own foundation to gather money for Ukraine and working with European foundations. So Taras Krivetsky will have a word now.
Hello everyone. First of all, I want to thank all of you for your support of Ukraine and for your presence at this meeting. Our charitable foundation of Nova is located in Ternopil, and in fact we are not a large foundation, we are quite small. But with your support we have already helped many good people who suffered from the war, and of course we help our defenders. We do everything possible to save their lives. We all do not need to explain why we need to help the victims, but why we need to help the defenders. This is not always clear to everyone. Someone may say that the state motivates me to be active and in this action. One of the last stories. It was Sunday morning. I decided to sleep longer because I had a hard week. There was a lot of volunteer work, various communications, and bad news. In short, a normal morning. At 8:30, my friend, who is a soldier, calls me on WhatsApp via video call. It was a call from the front, from the zero line, from the trench. You can imagine my feeling. I get up from a warm bed, and my colleague is in a trench on the zero line. He was on adrenaline and said that he needed Starlink. Their position was showered with mines, and the last Starlink was damaged. Spare one was activated, thanks to which he was able to call. Of course, I agreed to find him this Starlink and promised to do it as soon as possible. It is very difficult to refuse a person who is in a trench because he is not asking for a Starlink. He is asking for help to save his life. After 5 days, he came out of that position and we had a good talk. He described to me why at the moment this Starlink was so important. The enemy usually went to this position at the night in groups 2-3 people. Then their command conducts control this place from drones 20 hours, 7 days. And 24 hours, 7 days. And informs the guys in the trenches about where and how many enemies are attacking. The commander sees the enemy and writes to them in a special manager. 3 men are coming at you in the direction of 9 o'clock. Fight them. He can't say it over the radio because the Russians are listening in and it wouldn't be effective. And then my friend and his comrades know where to attack them and finish them off. At the moment I thought, what a dirty job is to be a Ukrainian soldier. There were 3 soldiers at their position and every night they killed or wounded 5-8 Russians. And then I understand that they have no other choice. Our country is doing very dirty work now. We were forced to do this. We don't understand why they need us, why they want to leave us alone. If we fall, they will move on. Don't look for logical reasons why they would do it. They have no logical reasons to attack us. Why should they look for them in relation to other countries? They said on their television, who will stop us? There is their logic. Unfortunately, my motivation is that I want to those my friends who pay the highest price for our freedom to stay alive. Sorry if it sounds too cruel, but it's true. This is reality we are living now. Thank you very much for helping to keep Ukraine alive.
And I will have a question to you, Taras. Can you tell us for what use, what did you buy mainly for the Ukrainian army mainly during this year? Because I know you are the part of this big initiative 1019 and you are working together with the Switzerland organization. So what mainly you buy during this years?
During these years, I remember first time it was in 2022 when 1019 action from Switzerland helped us first time in a very big scale. It was generators and power stations and it was also power banks. from Action 1019. I am very thankful for these people, for you all who support this action. And it really saved our lives because without that power station, without that generators, our defenders and our medical it could be difficult to survive their lives without these things.
And maybe now I will ask for more Harald Beer. He's from the other side, from this initiative 1019. Hello, Harald.
So, hello, good evening, lovely bench here. My name is Harald Beer, and I'm very thankful for presenting a little bit of 1019 tonight. 1019 is the distance between like the pub you eat regularly to the ring. That's how the name came up. And Taras just recently summed up our major motivation, more or less, all the emotions that came up, and have been very moving as you told your, as you just recently told your feedback that you've given to us. When actually what I would like to do to give you some figures and maybe then do a little Q&A session. By far we have these funds over 2 million Swiss francs right now. The driven kilometers see it going 9 times around the globe, which means it's about 372,000 kilometers in March, and we did 19 times to Ukraine, including to Lviv, to Kiev, to Dnipro, to Kherson, to Kharkiv, and even to Sumy as well, and also to sometimes more to the north or to the east. So what we do is we focus. We focus on fundraising. We focus on the trustful relations that we have with you from Oknova and also with Peter in Vienna here as well. And we also do the matching between supply and demand. Like when we got in touch with you, we have to sort out the most important stuff that you really need, and we have like figures that products that, for instance, you need. That's a good example. It also reflects some principles that we have. Like the numbers that I just gave you as marketing. What was really essential is what's actually on the account. The action is mostly supported and also audited by the Swiss Students Association, which is a huge sponsor every year to us, and we are very thankful to be a section within this huge association, which tremendously supports our projects every year. That's something I would like to point out at this moment. How we do is when the daily focus. So if, for instance, you have a soldier buying some for injury, then maybe he might need a tonic cat. Tonic cats are still essential, and although they should be part of the basic gear, there is a huge demand for them, and we just don't buy them somewhere else. So we try to find a premium manufacturer. We start with small quantities for testing. Then you sort out by yourself, because you are the experts on this on the front lines. You sort out the most valuable and most sustainable and stretchers, many stretchers, and recently in February we delivered even a snowmobile into the Kharkiv area. So now you have the stretcher, the snowmobile carrying this poor guy to a field hospital where he gets a basic medical treatment to stabilize him. So I guess we also delivered some generators or batteries to these huge hospitals that deliver a stable source of energy. And then this guy has to be put on a transport to a more professional, to a more specialized hospital somewhere in the hinterland, maybe in the Kharkiv area, where we had a project in 2022 to refurbish the surgery department of the regional hospital. And maybe he got there and then gets his continuing medical treatments over there. So this is kind of the value chain where we try to support this stuff. Another topic is that we try to make a difference and to add some value to the people who are currently in a desperate need of something. Maybe you remember back when the Kakhovka dam broke and the whole area beyond it was towards the coast was flooded. We happened to get in contact with the voluntary fire brigades in Switzerland who needed their pumps. Yeah? So they gave us pumps for free. After the broken dam, we actually needed these pumps to Kherson, including underwater drones, rubber boats, and other stuff to, at some point, to ease the pain regarding this flooding, and also the underwater drones served as an instrument, as a search instruments for mines that maybe have been drawn away by the flooding somewhere into areas where people have lived. Yeah, that's approximately what we do. How we do it is that we try to buy Ukrainian goods as much as possible. Just in case there's a shortage of it, we don't do it. Additionally, we found out that Ukrainian mail is very reliable, and we received many feedbacks that they deliver the stuff on time and how it's posted. So that's how actually this is our small contribution to also to boost a little bit Ukrainian economy. I'm telling you this because actually you can either in Austria or in Germany you can start the same initiative tomorrow. It's not a big deal. It's not a miracle. Actually, we have never planned. We just managed to introduce scalable processes from the start. We kind of reported very clearly and precisely every cash in, every cash out, and we have been closely audited by the Swiss Students Association as well, so that we actually over Switzerland donations to us cannot be deducted from the tax declarations for 2 years or something. Well, if you just have any questions, don't hesitate to interrupt me. Otherwise, I will just continue talking. Is there anything you might be interested in, especially?
If somebody wanna ask something, Harald, maybe you will say some conclusion, and then we can back to you after everybody will have a word.
Yeah. Well, my conclusion is that basically you can discuss the war in Ukraine on a very high political level, 30 feet up to the air, and all the people suffering actually then will look like tiny ants. And what we did from the start is we changed perspective. We focused on the needs of maybe a mother with the 2 children fleeing from Kharkiv or even further to the west of Dnipro. So what are the dire needs in these hours, in her situation? So and basically what all our initiative is based on, it's mutual trust and mutual solidarity, which is where I think the EKV is the best means of representing this mutual trust, because it's the only organization that unites all fraternities, all Christian fraternities all over Europe. And actually my personal wish is that it stays as such, and that we continue to use this as a platform of mutual interaction and exchange of ideas, especially to the topic regarding fundraising for Ukraine, and maybe then to start to rebuild the country and to help it to prosper again for the future.
Thank you, Harry, so much.
A question for
Of course.
Yeah, Arnold, I have a question for you, because the project has reached heights that I think we as EKV could never hope for one of our members to reach. And I was wondering how many people are actively involved in the 1019 movement, and to also like maybe explicitly thank them now that we have the chance. Yeah.
I'm just putting our net address into the chat. It's 1019.ch. Until the end of 2024, we were like 4 people, and now we are 1. Yeah. So it doesn't mean what I have to say after that. From logistics, we are very reliable partner like support for Ukraine with a heart from Basel and other non-profit organizations in Switzerland help us with transport and logistics. Yeah. And apart from that, it's all done by us for.
Thank you, Harald. It's really a great idea that the EKV can make a big gather of money for Ukraine, because we have, as EKV, we have 15 associations there, and we have, I think, more than 600 societies and brotherhoods. So it's really big power for Europe and big power for Ukraine. Now I will give the word to the Sofia Kerneshna, Dr. Sofia Kerneshna. She is the lawyer. She also was written the statute for the Obnova Foundation, and she's also my good friend.
Thank you, Tanja. Thank you, Bianca. Hi, guys. Guten Abend. Grüß Gott, servus. It's my pleasure to talk to you. And first of all, thanks a lot for organizing the Ukrainian event at the EKV and inviting to join. On behalf of Nova and people of Ukraine, I would like to introduce you to persisted, knocking on your door, just as Ukraine knocked on the door of Europe, seeking support and acceptance into the European family. This full-scale invasion in 2022, 3 years ago, I recall the spontaneous meetings, spontaneous online meetings with EKV, where you did everything you could to support Ukraine and us. Now we see that this support for Ukraine within EKV and its members' organizations, thanks to our fraternal relations, is truly significant. We are incredibly grateful to the help from the entire EKV, its member organizations, associations, and the Swiss Association Glanzenburg for creating Action 1019 to support Ukraine. But the war is not over yet. At this very moment, as already mentioned Dr. Yuri Beditsny, the fate of Ukraine is brave people and members of NOVA living in Ukraine hands in balance. Perhaps the destiny of the whole Europe being at stake. We must remain strong, and our strength lies in our unity and fraternity, especially as Christian associations. You might wonder, what can I do? Or what can my association do? Each of you is the voice of Europe. And when your voices unite, they become a powerful recorded chorus. Resounding chorus. Your collective support of Ukraine and for the whole Europe as a whole will echo with greater force and will make an even more profound impact. That is why we can help to save the beautiful Ukraine, its resilient people, and the wonderful of NOVA associations that we cherish. To witness this firsthand, we warmly invite you to visit Ukraine and join us in Lviv to mark the 95th anniversary of NOVA. We look forward to welcome you in Lviv.
Thank you, Sophia. Yes, we really invite you all to Ukraine in the end of the March. We as Sophia are responsible for the international guests for the NOVA anniversary conference, and I know that a lot of you are already coming for this conference, and I'm really grateful, but also I know that some of you will join us online. It's also very important. And I want to give word to Silver, our Secretary General. And how do you think, how can we organize in EKV this big financial support for Ukraine? Because you are from Switzerland, and Switzerland has a big experience during these 3 years.
Yes, we have, or let's say by name, the AB Glanzenburg, really big respect what they did. That's unbelievable. That shows us what's possible, even if we are not that powerful, let's say, or even if we don't believe what could be possible. So the thing is just to start first and then move on and take on all the supporters, whatever you can get, and then you can reach much more than you even would or could expect yourself. So thank you very much, Simplicissimus, Harald Beer. It's really crazy what you did already, and that shows us, it should show us what we could do by ourselves or all together. So I really believe that the EKV has a big potential, we are a big amount of students, a big amount of members, but in the end it depends on how we work together, that we dare to take a first step and to move on, even if it doesn't look that big at the beginning, or we don't know wherever the journey can go on. But yeah, I'm really impressed what Ukraine is doing, what the people in Ukraine are doing at the moment. It's already more than 3 years ago, not talking about Crimea, that's more than 3 years. And I think the right people connected together can do really big things, and that's what we should believe in and work together to produce a really positive situation, whatever it will be. But I'm really optimistic. There's much more potential, much more possible that we ever or already have.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the support, and also you, Patty, because when I have some ideas and just came to you and say, you know, can we organize this or do this, and you always answer yes. It's really important, and thank you, Gunther, for the idea of this evening. I wanna make some conclusion, and later I will also ask for the work of the Father Taras. He has also the experience with the buying the ambulance for the Ukrainians doctors. So,
So in Austria, thanks a lot, Tanya. It's a wonderful evening, important evening, and it really shows the potential of EKV, what our Swiss brothers have achieved. Also, there is a lot of Austrian initiatives with Hammer High. He has done a lot of fundraising as well, and several other fraternal brothers in Vienna. They have been regularly going to Lviv and to bring generators and other things to Ukraine. And I think this should be now the evening to relaunch the effort of fundraising and to make it sure that at every single student commerce and student Stiftungsfest, at every Kneipe, there should be fundraising for Ukraine, because this is the most important task we have today now. We must support Ukraine, Ukraine must win, and Europe must win, and we must win together. So this is really important, and I don't want to see any student fraternity event anymore when I go and I don't hear anybody talking about Ukraine. We must talk about Ukraine, we must talk loud about Ukraine, and we must use our resources to support Ukraine's freedom struggle. This is very important. And now, maybe in a conclusion, Father Taras, we can propose one common prayer to say thank you very much, and vielleicht können wir ein gemeinsames Gebet machen, ein paar, das wird auf Ukrainisch oder auf Deutsch, je nachdem, wie Sie wollen, zum Abschluss unseres Treffens.
I just will say a few words for the end, and then Father Taras will make a prayer. It's, you know, dear brother and sister, now there is 3 years, third anniversary of war, and 10 years more there was Crimea was occupied, and it's a very long time and very hard time for Ukrainians, for a lot of Ukrainian families, a lot of Ukrainian men and women, because the 1 million of Ukrainian men and women are in the army and they defend our country. And a few million of Ukrainian people are abroad. A few millions Ukrainian family are divided, are not live together all this time. And when we hear this 3 years, 10 years, it's really long time, because it's really long. How could I imagine before that I will live 3 years abroad without my husband? It's really hard, and I couldn't believe 3 years before that it's possible, yeah. But it's reality for us, and now we understand we don't know how long this war, this horrible war will continue. So it's not the end, unfortunately. Maybe we are in the middle, maybe it's just beginning and Ukraine still need the help, but also we need to keep the hope, to keep our belief that everything will be finished good for us. So thank you for support, Ukraine. Thank you what you did till this moment to help us to finish this horrible war. And we as EKV will be continuous to help Ukraine. We will start our initiative. We will tell about it more later during the year. We are just started and we will have our initiative. And in the end, maybe you will say something and then positive.
Yes, I would like to say one last thing, because Tatjanka is very humble as a person. But I would like to especially thank her for this evening. If there is one person who made sure this evening happened, that this was organized, who invited all the guests here to speak, and who made this really a valuable event, and is Tatjanka. And I would like, from my perspective, to personally thank you first, and then I would like to ask you all to give a big knuckle for her, to congratulate her with organizing such a great event.
Pray in Ukrainian and in German. We are all Ukrainian and Austrian, Swiss, and we pray in our language.
Please, ja, auf jeden Fall.
Отче наш, що є на небесах, нехай святиться ім'я Твоє, нехай прийде царство Твоє, нехай буде воля Твоя, як на небі, так і на землі. Хліб наш насущний дай нам сьогодні, і прости нам провини наші, як і ми прощаємо винуватцям нашим, і не веди нас у спокусу, але визволи нас від лукавого. Амінь. Vater unser im Himmel, geheiligt werde dein Name, dein Reich komme, dein Wille geschehe, wie im Himmel so auf Erden. Unser tägliches Brot gib uns heute und vergib uns unsere Schuld, wie auch wir vergeben unseren Schuldigern. Und führe uns nicht in Versuchung, sondern erlöse uns von dem Bösen. Denn dein ist das Reich und die Kraft und die Herrlichkeit in Ewigkeit. Amen. So segne der Herr, der liebende Herr, unsere Völker, er bringe den gerechten Frieden, er helfe uns über den Krieg hinaus zum Frieden zu kommen und gib uns seinen Halt. Das gewähre uns der dreieinige Gott, der Vater, der Sohn und der Heilige Geist. Amen.
And in the end, I want to thank you to all Ukrainian participants. My husband was here for me and for like a lot of Ukrainian soldiers and doctors. Пан Юрій Підлісний, Софія Кернична, Тарас Кривецький, Соломія Костенко. In the last but the least, our President of Federation of Nova. Thank you all and see you in Lviv in the end of March of 95 of Nova Anniversary Conference.
And Slava Ukraine. Now we make a common picture together of the participants. Father Thomas, Ingrid, wer möchte, please come forward. Wir brauchen eine Flagge. You can stay on the line for one moment, please, and then we make a common picture here. Alle, die wollen, können auch das Picture Foto machen. Wir brauchen nur mal einen Freiwilligen und einen Freiwilligen. Ja. Slava Ukraine.
Героям слава.
Mach bitte ein bisschen mehr das mal. Trotz des schwierigen Anlasses bitte ein breites Lächeln für die Ukraine. Hoch dem EKV. So, herzlichen Dank.
You also want to give on the Okay. So now we have a food, Vareniki.
Vareniki, we win.
Yeah.